Chris and I, as he likes to say, we have a band that writes novels, and it's called Lazy and Entitled, and so this is our first live performance or live event. We're super stoked about it, and a bunch of friends said yes to do it, so thank you, friends, for doing it, and thank you all for coming out. Without further ado, I'll let Chris take it away. All right, I'm not going to talk too much, but yeah, this is the first Lazy and Entitled reading, hopefully first of many. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We're super, super excited, as Brennan said. Micah Mabey is a musician, writer, and performer. They are the co-creator, co-writer, co-director, and co-star of Absolutely, a Chicago-based, absurdist, chaotic, talky sketch comedy show. Absolutely can be found on Instagram, and Micah's other work can be found on YouTube. I believe the handle is @Micah, but online. Here's Micah Mabey. Woo! Woo!
I'm going to read some poems. They have me start so that the real poems afterwards sound a lot better. And I'm okay with that. We're going to start with this one. It's called A Take on the View.
A take on the view?
Yes. In a perfect world, the view from halfway down isn't so scary. Everyone I love is sitting around a table and I am there with them. I have cooked and the kitchen is already clean. The meal is good, but not perfect, as nothing ever is. The meat is too dry and the bread is well done, but we have gravy and butter to lighten them up, and it tastes like gold. The wine is cheap and smells like piss, but it's overflowing enough for everybody that we black out in the best of ways. I sit beside my brother and he tells me what's next, just as he used to. I am prepared for the fall. He does not tell me everything because some of it is supposed to remain a mystery. Some of it is for the after. He does tell me, though, that the view from halfway down isn't as scary as they make it out to be on TV. This one is called, I Wrote This in the Morning to Remind Me I'm Alive. I was born on August 21st, and that makes my star sign afraid to show who I really am in case you don't fuck with it. I'm 6 feet tall and my clothes don't fit because I bought them when I was 150 pounds and too nearsighted to see that that was a case of grief. My glasses have scratches on them that read I run into corners when I'm moving through life too fast. I'm just learning to slow down because the tears are beginning to show in my skin. I've begun crying at opportune times, like when I'm thinking of my brothers, and that makes me real, just like you. You, who I want to impress, but I don't know how, so I push it down and crack jokes to tell you I'm a clown that can be trusted with your darkest desire. I have missed calls in my new phone from my mom and my dad who don't talk anymore, and those voicemails led to cracks in his pristine screen when I dropped it in the front door of my apartment in North Chicago. I wake up wet, covered in sweat, if I even slept at all. I don't have insomnia, I think, but I do have thoughts that keep me up at night. And I'm not lazy, I'm just tired of running in circles. Sometimes my mind drifts to Detroit or places that I don't know on the West Coast where the water meets the mountains and I don't want to throw myself off of them anymore. I know that could sound sad, but sometimes living reality is. Like a poorly lit hospital room or a vet clinic in the city. I am not the man I used to be, but perhaps I was never a man to begin with. I am a child, playing games of pretend, and then I was old enough to try and get paid for it. I'm 26 and 6 feet tall, my clothes don't fit, and I smoke too much. You and I are made of the same particles our grandfathers' fathers were made of however many years ago, and the generations to come will drink our spit as clean tap water. All right, I wrote this one a week and a half ago, so we'll see. It's called Instructions for My Funeral. When I die, there will be fanfare. There will be lights and loud and open air. You can smoke and drink and talk too much, Irish goodbye or stay the night, hitch up a hammock and set up a space. You will read Shakespeare or Moliere or something more late. When I die, I want to hear stories of those that you loved or some morning glory. I want to hear laughter, or maybe you sob, but not over me. Don't make this about me. Make this about what's next, what's coming down the road, where your boots will take you or whose couches you'll sit. When I die, I want you to drink with your friends, beer or seltzer water or wine, it doesn't matter the kind. I want you to stay up late and act like a kid the way my older brothers always did. Live in spite of me. Remember my downfalls and my bad habits. Remember the mean thing I said to you when you were drunk. Remember that I could be an asshole sometimes. Do not put me on a pedestal. Remember all of my downfalls, how I didn't take your shift or wouldn't take your shit. Remember that I'm a good-for-nothing poser. Remember all the bad haircuts, the overgrown beards, the mustache that made me look like a 70s porn star. You can remember whatever you want, as long as you remember. It's all that I can ask. This next one is by my brother, who passed away shortly after releasing his first book of poetry, and I have made a habit of kind of being the only one who's gonna keep getting that shit out there, excuse my language. So, it's called Cocaine, Champagne, and Overcooked Meat. Our only ever added abstract omniscience. I am an apple in an abyss of intelligence. Where do we stand on our hands and our heads on the shoulders of giants and greatness and guts? Gladness ungraded by gratitude's scale, a grandeur ended by graciousness gone. A friction debated between seriousness and worth, a fiction contended between dying and birth. I am a banana debating the eternal cosmos. I find myself lost among the stars. I lose myself in the concept of time. A missing masterpiece by makers of mirth. A work of wonder woefully waning. A sentence constructed by character, a fracture between our last and final. I am a piece of nourishment, feeding the great men to come. We are intellectual beings, trying to survive in a physical realm. I am a pomegranate traveling through space. All right, this is gonna be my last one. That's it. It's called 5/13/25. The day that I wrote it. When I close my eyes, I am in my childhood home. One of the 7, it doesn't matter which one. My parents are young and still together. My brothers all live at home and none of them have died. I am eating dinner, and it is lasting forever. The meal stays warm, and the family dog is healthy. The back door is open, and the screen is in. A baseball is being thwacked down the lane by some neighborhood kids. There is a splash in a pool. Cars whiz by on the road outside. Fresh air. Fresh air. Fresh air seeps into our dining room. I can smell Michigan as the wind chimes rustle. My dad references Monty Python, and the table laughs. Soon, I will try my first cigarette. I will stay up late and sneak out. My brothers will move on one by one, and my parents and I will live in different states. Their marriage will dissolve, and Noah will die. In this moment, I am a child, not yet scared of what is going to come my way. I say a prayer, and I open my eyes. I have no idea this will be the last time. Thank you.
realized I should have prepared an intro for Chris. What he did for Micah was so nice, and I had nothing. No, Chris Corlew is a writer, poet, musician, father, husband, son, brother, friend, based out of Chicago. He is the co-host of the Line Break podcast, which I'm going to plug right now because neither of them are going to plug it. Bob and Chris host a poetry podcast that also talks about basketball. So there's 2 reasons for you to listen to it. It's wonderful. They don't keep it. It's not 2 hours, which I like. They keep it tight. They have plenty of poets on there. If you are a poet, I'm sure they'll let you come on their podcast as well. Chris also does Lazy and Entitled with me. Chris has both short fiction and poetry published on various places on the internet. You can look at lazyandentitled.org for more about Chris. But give it up for Chris Corlew.
Alright, I'm not gonna, talk too much because I'm emceeing the rest of the show. So
Okay.
the first poem in my as yet unpublished manuscript is called Up Early. I'm a dad. It's after the poet Wal Wen. Up early, curing salmon, then comfort kid out of nightmares. The word war is far. Portrait of the poet as a pile of grated cheese for baked mac. Brushed nickel blurts no longer toddler about a ceiling fan. I worry, rise of white nationalism, book COVID booster appointment. THC cane syrup in fizzy cold drink, chucked diced cilantro and onions in fridge. Go ahead, write you a little poem. Don't put your hands down, this one's short. Human pastoral brick! Willow white duck, the blistered spigot squirts, not only for you, but for my irradiated necktie and the brick-licking light, making a flower fortress of bright wire to wander your wingtips' flickering basket. Are y'all fans of the lake?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That one over there. Shallow Lake. This one's called Kayaking Mid-July.
I can go kayak.
Whose child is that? Took an edible before I came out. Water so July blue, so shimmering, so foam-capped, so loving even the ripples of jet ski wakes, even if I hate jet skis. Jet skis are for settler individualists, so gas-powered in their blood they can't imagine a world of boiled water. But I row to commune with the lake, not dominate it. I row so the lake can remind me that I am so small, and yet so here and so blissed, and we are so back this summer. 2 goals, 3 shore dogs, chasing tennis balls, 2 buildings I used to live in visible, 1 dorm and 1 glass library. What a run. Hell yeah, dude, my arms feel huge. Picking up fish tacos on the way home. You want any plantains? If you want a free morning, just ask. If you want a street festival to go off without a hitch, make sure you keep a fan in your pocket. We won't notice night is coming if we concern ourselves with bookstore puppet shows. And will we, with new bracelets and crochet frogs that glow in the dark, and new drawings of trees and a fresh order of cheese curds to share, plus hot dog for wagon-strapped child, plus Queen cover band, even care about evenings dim?
Good job.
Thanks, dude. It's warm February watching nature documentaries. How many of y'all are a fan about how our Februaries get like really hot now? A hippo heads for the surf, looking for a feeling of smallness in salt water. I don't, more salsa on my night nachos. There's a way, if you try hard, you can make life really good. Bike shop with its doors open this morning. I saw a dude on Clark Street leaving the gym in his shorts. I saw golden doodles without sweaters. I saw girls in hoodies getting after-school chips and tea in a can. I saw my kid take his coat off while running on the playground and saw myself thinking it wasn't worth getting up to chastise. He was wearing his skull sweatshirt. And now, I'm seeing a jaguar fight a crocodile. And sure, I'm stoned, but the kid's asleep. Thought about opening windows today. Shit, winter's so warm we didn't bother taping them this year. There's not much to like about Obama's post-presidency as of 2024, but what a great voice for nature documentaries. A macaque jumps on the back of a distracted deer, and I think, how humiliating without language. No negotiation, no established friendship. You're a vessel now, dear, let me ride you. There's no penance, I know, to make up for droning Lebanese weddings or not closing Guantanamo. And there's no reward, I know, for being the first black man trying to preside in Trump country. At least 80 species live in a sloth's fur, algae swamp moss, I don't know. Looks itchy. Animals and people willingly live in the Arctic, and Mark Zuckerberg is terraforming Hawaii despite locals 4 years ago being like, stop coming here, please. The land can't handle it. 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 Some endangered condors are making a comeback in Chile. This poem's called Stoked About All the Microplastics in My Balls. We all gotta get used to it, I'm told. Technology is inevitable in a way the Colorado River is not. I make the switch from bottles to cans and learn the capitalists have been lying about the Luddites and learn about how auto companies sabotage train lines. On walks during pandemic lockdowns when he was a baby, I'd name the world for my child. Robins, stoplights, train station, red car. Here is what it looks like when a computer murders a lake. A cute orange cat. I've set foot in the Pacific Ocean only once or twice and yet still feel the weight of Trash Island nudging my ribcage if I sleep on the wrong side. Here's another right-winger talking about birth rates like TV ratings. I set my phone face down on the counter and check to see if my takeout box is compostable. Hey, shout out to Rivers and Roads Café, this very cafe. Their coffee is super ethically sourced, and my best friend and creative partner, Brendan Johnson, can tell you about it if you ask him nicely. Their cups are compostable, so if you get a cup from here, compost it. We use Waste Not composting service. It's like $12 a month or something. I'm reading this one because Bob recently said it was good, so thanks, Bob. But it's about our other friend who plays basketball. My friend called 33 his Pippin year, so 36 is my Sheed year. This only makes sense if you know who Rasheed Wallace is. Soon come the day when both teams play hard. Soon come the day of honest ball and legal weed. Soon come the day where coach is liberated from a necktie dress code, but veins still tense under loose polo. I am a backup small forward with the soul of someone who can slash and dunk and get on House of Highlights. My son has inherited leaping off the backs of couches, running off scraped knees, staying in the pool until his soul gets pruning. When I first learned to party, I learned to party wrong. Barrel vapor off my shoulders as I jogged without crossing three-point lines. Jacking long bombs when I should have been banging in the post. Rashid, I stopped drinking, but I did not stop partying. And I will always play hard, my man. I will always play hard. We all know what ball don't do. Y'all are very kind, thank you. This one is for Brendan, because it's something we did. It's also after my mentor, Joshua Marie Wilkinson, whom I love very much, and he would be aghast if he knew this title was after one of his poems. I guess he'll find out when he reads the book. It's called I Played in a Christian Punk Band in High School. You will build a trolley car with biographies of South American socialists in a suburb of rope hidden in closets. What you will forget will cost the neighborhood later. What the lawnmowers do with the beer between their legs and the beer in the garage fridge will cost the neighborhood later. Jesus hung out with sex workers. Jesus did not have NFTs. Jesus was a day laborer. Jesus would be for higher property taxes. If this is forgiveness, sober, and learning to play fast riffs again, to palm mute, except when you need one less blood vessel. rocks under a beach towel. Voice high and sinus as drying lines in a courtyard of a high-rise buried on the north side of a lakeside side street tucked between two other high-rises, and oh, ye mighty Lake Michigan, and xylophone jingles chime through glitchy TVs. Hope you have enough portable fans for your face on the porch, where you imagine, in younger years, some socialist told stories of bygone rock-throwing strikes and burning cop cars, and now is where you go to smoke joints, but used to go to sneak Jack Daniels into Pepsi bottles, to burn your voice lower, to husk as scratchy as summer's first grilled cob, first smoked ribs, thinking first whiskey would make a man. And no one but you can see the door doesn't all the way close, and the lock doesn't click. Voices, even of dogs, can't yip without quiver. Even the train sparks blue and night's enveloping ink like another half-finished pamphlet for morning street sweepers to add to dirt. Dos months, two more. I may never be straight edge, but it is punk rock to quit drinking. In the NoFX song, Bob spends 15 years, not this Bob, different Bob. It's a long time ago. In the NoFX song, Bob spends 15 years getting loaded until his liver exploded, saying he wanted to think about nothing. Am I made of the same weakness? Afraid of checking my mail? Cockroaches and bed bugs, my first apartment like Charybdis maw of misery, molded paperbacks thanks to a busted ceiling pipe, like cosmic justice for my settler ass, like all streams flow into the sea, and yet the sea is never full, homie. All becomes dust. It is not a sin to recycle a book. The best conversations happen in a tavern, but the revolution doesn't happen because you got drunk. The revolution is clear-eyed and callous-handed and joyous in struggle. The revolution is constant as a river and leaves you sore, but naturally high. The revolution is dancing with everyone on the floor, and community garden mornings, and the drag punk band hollering on the street festival north stage, and the public school fundraiser night. It is a song you started, but only the rest of the band can finish. It is a reliable bus route. It is a shared box of blueberries.
Nice.
I do feel compelled to say I haven't read poetry in public in 10 years, and my background is in playing in a Christian punk band in high school, so I kind of feel compelled to like jump off the bench back here, but I'm not gonna go Ginsberg on your ass. Yes, son, I cursed. I told you to be cool.
No, I'm not.
All right, one more. The trees, my dudes, the trees. Headbanging kelp forest, the sea cats of Chile's beaten coast hunt with agility, implying they could probably guard Kevin Durant one-on-one. In the dark, the stone horror writer makes a note of vampire bats on the screen. Evergreen rainforest where I would maybe melt out of reverence. Can I kiss the Mapangari's hand? Ambush is easy enough when you look like a leaf, the narrator says about frogs. Reincarnate me as a dewdrop above the Valdivian forest seems a million times more purposeful and fulfilling than 21st century USA. The trees are so many. Can you see the trees and not praise the trees, my comrades in leaves? Can you see the Chilean palm trees mixed with Valdivian species and not worship the earth? The trees, marvel at the trees, and cacti grow in the clearings. The trees depend on Monito del Monte to swallow their seeds whole and shit out germinating pods and sticky residue. This animal is 40 million years old. We're talking first mammal, old. That should be sacred. The trees should be considered a holy site. And the monkey puzzle tree resistant to volcanic ash, can you even believe how big the world is? How tall the trees? Can you even believe how impossibly small even a 20-story apartment building is? And yet each life contained within a treasure, even thousands of miles from these sacred trees. What a treat to be alive, to be stoned and up late and watching a streaming service I only have so my son can watch Mickey and Bluey and Spider-Man, and I can watch Star Wars. And no, there's more. There's the divine, dewy and shaggy with cacti in the clearing, the trees, my dudes, the trees. We end as we began, waterbound, confronted with wave battery. Thank you. would not have plugged the album if you hadn't played that song. Our next reader is a wonderful poet, a baseball poet, so that's very exciting to me. She also recently, this is a good time to say, the readers from here on out, the next 3, have books for sale. Right up here at the front. After the reading, we'll be able to buy books. So buy everyone's books. I've read them, well I haven't read Sandy's yet, but I've read most of Sandy's books. All the books up here are worth buying, they're very good. So, without further ado, Sandra Marchetti is the 2023 winner of the Twin Bill Book Prize for Best Baseball Poetry Book of the Year. She is the author of 3 full-length collections of poetry: Diorama from Stephen F. Austin State University Press in 2025, Aisle 2028 from SFASUP, which I should probably know what that stands for, 2023, and Confluence from Sundress Publications in 2015. Sandy is also the author of 4 chapbooks of poetry and lyric essays. Her poetry appears widely in Poet Lore, Blackbird, Ecotone, Southwest Review, Subtropics, and elsewhere. Sandra's essays can be found at the Rumpus, Whiskey Island, Mid-American Review, Barrel House, Pleiades, and other venues. She's the poetry editor emerita at River Styx magazine. Sandy earned an MFA in creative writing poetry from George Mason University and now serves as the assistant director of academic support at Harper College in Chicagoland. Welcome, Sandy.
Woo!
You're the expert here.
Is this good?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I can hear myself.
Yeah, let me know if you want more volume.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is great. I think this reading is the first time I've ever felt cool in my whole life. I, as a suburbanite, am not cool and not invited to cool events. So I feel very beat tonight or something like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I do have a new book out. This book just came out a month ago. We have celebrities in the crowd who read at my book launch party, and some of these fine people were here too. So I'll read a few from this, and then I'll read a few baseball poems. And if you don't like baseball poems, just disassociate during that part or go outside and smoke. It's fine. Okay, so I usually do, I operate these readings like I'm teaching a class. So I ask for a lot of participation. And you can just fuck with me and like raise your hand when, whatever question I answered you don't agree with or whatever. But has anybody here, who hasn't actually been to Printers Row Lit Fest? Has anybody not been? Okay, well, let's bully these people afterwards, right? Okay. No, they just need to go, and maybe this poem will help them. I went many years ago and saw Tracy K. Smith and Roger Reeves on a panel about Tracy K. Smith's mother's, her memoir about her mother dying, and then I wrote this poem, Ion. It's a beautiful day in America, and we are all waiting for something terrible to happen. A girl's balloon pops on the commuter train and we think it is a gunshot. The leaves we pass sparkle with imaginary dew. More people hold books in their hands than I have ever seen. At the poetry reading, you discussed lynchings in paradise. On this beautiful suburban day, all I can see is lucid unease. Once we've talked about death, a feathered final breath of the higher self, unstable, seeing. I'll get more time to read if you don't clap. I'm just joking. Feel free to clap in between, I appreciate it. So I made a few efforts at prose poems in this thing, and they're all little square boxes like this. I'm a big fan of Apollinaire, who was a French poet during World War I. And so I tried to write some, really this book has to do with my influences and trying to learn from them but not imitate them. So there's a little Apollinaire connection here. Your car drove alone in the dark on the drag, and all I could see was the flat black of it. Some fool tossing matches out the window, your bumper bright liquid at night, breezing to the triangled horizon line. Made of milk from stars and headlights, I am the lit wind scribbling your car, the match marring the ground, a burned underpinning. Stubborn, I appreciate that. I do, I like it. Who doesn't like some applause? Who doesn't like to be on stage? Just a little bit. Okay, so there's a lot of Chicago in this book too. And as a poseur who lives in the burbs, I have to say that at the beginning because there is so much Chicago. But this is actually a poem that took place, or like kind of the germination of it took place not far from here. It's called Satellite. It is night when I visit here, not far off the lake, curling into my sneakers, breakers and whitecaps, silent at this distance. There is so much noise out there. Stars wink out over the horizon, and they're gone, gone. Maybe not stars at all. On this anniversary of nothing, I see your face vanish over the water. And it is love, not your body, that is missing. Okay, and you know what? Let's take a little break from this. These are a little heavier. And we'll go to the baseball book. So this is your time. Go get that cigarette out and leave now. No, it's just gonna be 2 poems. I don't know if anybody in here, this seems like a crowd where we might have some Bob Uecker fans. Bob Uecker died over the winter. He was 91. Very sad. If you're not a baseball fan, you might know him from Mr. Belvedere or other movies and TV shows he starred in. Quite a talent, just like Chris, a Renaissance man, really. So anyway, I have a couple Bob Uecker poems in here. This book is really about the 2016 Chicago Cubs going to games with my dad and listening to baseball on the radio, but there are poems about other teams and other players and other broadcasters. Distortion. I won't forget listening to a Brewers game as the sun sunk over the jack pine ridges of the Upper Peninsula. The signal glowed fainter with each ray disappearing. I was northing with Bob Uecker, and when the light dimmed well past 9, Milwaukee was losing, and so was I, winking slow across the shoreline, my ears wrecked in the static of a bobblehead giveaway. I saw like 3 wry smiles, so that's as close as we're getting to a joke. I heard there was a comic here tonight. We did have a comic, although I was wanting to hear the comedy. I gotta be honest.
Contain multitude.
Right, yeah. Everyone here is really like just good at several things. So there are people in this crowd who have heard me read before, and I'm like paranoid that I'm reading the same material. So I picked a few things that I know I haven't read. And this poem really, you do need to have some familiarity with the Cubs. So I can't really read this one out of town. So we're reading it here tonight. And the title is a quote from Harry Carey, "The good Lord wants the Cubs to win." I dreamt you rewound the last play. That evening our fortunes changed and took it away. In the nightmares you led the trophy back from our owner's hands to the commissioner's grasp. Then Bryant slipped and missed the ball, his smile twisted to torture. Or maybe he threw, but the seams popped loose from Rizzo's mitt, 2 on, 2 out. Either way, you shifted it from our grasp and settled its heft back onto your lap. And that was a recurring nightmare I had after the Cubs won the World Series. Okay, and I have 2 more poems here, and we've got one that I know I read it a few weeks ago at Metropolis, just a few blocks down. So bear with me if you have heard this one before. But I feel like you get this close to the lake, it's like a homing signal. I have to read this poem. There's no escaping it. So we're reading it. This is US 41. On the second full of the second season, the rose blue moon stops Chicago like a cork. Bicycles chase the lake. I ride the starred drive, a carpet vacuumed up to the Drake to lakeshore condos. Its escape of bracken beaches punched through with legs. Water begs them, pedaling to the loom. They wait on the lozenge to flick and plume.
This is not.
Come otherworldly and complete, a wheel of flaked stars, a dock off a manicured sandbar. The city erodes outside my pillbox car. Tonight the waves thinned in the moon cast my pink skin blue. Please buy a book. Usually I have a cute little story about it, but I would love it. I would love to sign a book for you. I promise. And I take any form of payment that you can imagine. So my last poem here will reveal my true colors, which is, it is a poem about the burbs. It's about a donut shop in Schaumburg, but also donuts. It's called County Donuts. Sugar caked on my lips slips through the air like crystal ice, the way glitter might. Fried dough soft as a spell in my mouth, agape at the tray sliding into the case. The cook plops the dough onto the conveyor belt of steam to bathe it in grease, visible through his picture window. Our bodies stop and breathe after traveling a dozen miles to play Nighthawks in his scene. Thank you.
Back when I was in college, I used to throw a reading series that was just a house party. Like, we would buy a 30-rack of PBR and tell everyone else to bring whatever liquor they wanted, and we'd read poems. It was a blast. This is a lot more staid by comparison, but that's cool too. One of my great compatriots during that time was a good friend, a good poet and fiction writer, good multimodal friend to have. We were cursed. We kept writing the same short story as each other, like every time we took a fiction workshop together. His were always Never Be Better, which is why he has 2 books and I have 0. It's a real treat to welcome Adrian Sobol. Adrian is a Polish immigrant, musician, and poet. He is the author of the poetry collection, The Life of the Party is Harder to Find Until You're the Last One Around, and the collection Hair Shirt. Both are very worth buying. At least Hair Shirt is here. They're very good. He lives in Chicago and is the editor-in-chief of Kicking Your Ass. Adrian Sobol.
Can I get something nasty on the guitar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to feel like something bad's about to happen. And it is, it's called poetry. This one's called Wiener Dog. You ride into town on a wiener dog. Wiener dog, the people shout, wiener dog. They throw roses, release balloons, a parade is organized in your honor. Your image appears on t-shirts and lunch boxes. They name a sandwich after you, then a street. Each day you feel yourself shrinking against the image of your one true act. You grow smaller, more translucent, until one day no one remembers why they love you, why your statue stands in a square, why they've burned so many cities in your name. This one's called The Lifeguard.
Yay!
I'm a professional. Look at the way I dress down, illegible in the distance, a flash in the sun, a red haymaker out over the horizon, keeling a boat, some dummy knocked over into the water. I think, finally, a chance to play hero. I knew I could swim from an early age, born with brine in my lungs. I knew how to put my mouth to work, blowing air into the air, a kind of kiss, a kind of promise we make with the atmosphere. Keep me alive, keep me breathing heavy. So tell me, do you want me to pucker, trace the surface and glide below, or do you want me elsewhere? A lifeguard at rest is beautiful. A lifeguard in the water is a sign that something has gone wrong. In fact, there are hundreds of ways to rescue the damned. I start naming my favorite essential oils. I start calling out lottery numbers. Listen, I'm here to save your life. So at these party/poetry readings, we would get pretty toasted, and I don't remember a lot of those things that happened there because of, and they were fun because you couldn't remember what happened afterwards. But I do remember some poems, and I remember some mistakes. So this one is called The Loudest People. The loudest people at this party won't stop talking about how introverted they are. I'd like to be loved in a different language than the one I lie in. I'd like a stiff drink filled with the saddest music. I brought the bar around, so why is everybody crying? This one's called Sophisticated Boom Boom. This is the sexy poem. We try to design a new sex game. We call the landlord. No one does any work. We are both satisfied. Thank you. So apparently, I'm about to make it dark. So apparently we might be going to war with Iran anytime soon. So here's some war poems. Casual insurgency. I spent last month digging into the garden to see where the rain goes at night. I found no pleasure in it, just a body language I can't master. It's true, I've measured myself and found I'm life-sized, which is small if you consider I don't understand a bell or why it's determined to ring. Brunch. I order a haircut called Political, in turn a cocktail called Oblivion, a map of the last human nervous system. In case we aren't speaking, I hire an escort so I can finally have a man to talk to. Have you heard, he tells me, more men are dying in need of softness than thirst. You'll be going to war, but which one? I'm not allowed to attend this year's protest. Last year, I got into a fight with the local police horse. Last time, I made myself the spectacle. It's never quite Independence Day. I'm going to read a new one.
Hey.
What is it?
I wrote this after reading Bob's book. So I tried to write a Bob poem.
Okay.
But as you will see, how I experience love is much different than the way Bob experiences love.
Wait, were you talking about geography?
Oh, barely. Well, you'll see. Doesn't have a title yet. I wrote it also while listening to a bunch of Yeah Yeahs, so tentative title is whatever your favorite Yeah Yeahs album is. So, fever to tell. I pried the song from my teeth with pliers and imagined it was you who put the day back in my hair, who put this fist through my chest full of spotlight liquor and sleaze, who held the halo in my ears, who wrapped their lips into a tremble of guitar. The air's wet tonight and tastes like cheap beer in New York, but who wants New York when there's Chicago with you in it, bruising my skin like a kiss from a speeding train? Lately, I need nothing more than to touch you, to crawl across this crowded bar, just to hold the hem of your dress in my mouth, like a lover jacketed to the skinny denim evening where this time you'd stay in the doorway with the moon still in the skylight, where words still fresh in a bedsheet still wreck the time, still time enough before regret sets in like a photograph of you spitting your drink in my face, laughing joyful before it died, my hair sticky with bourbon and bad barroom light, before I said love was no longer than the knot in my finger, before the knot in my finger still searching was no longer lost in the memory of your sweater. So I've got a couple more before I tee off. So this is my book, Hair Shirt. It came out in April. I have it available there at the table, which I would recommend you buy, because I don't want to carry them home. And I have a hole in my heart that needs to be filled with you taking my book home and reading it. So this was, where does this start? This began as a triptych, which 3 poems in a series. That's how you write one of those. I never wrote the middle one, so it's just 2. So in its place, in the place of the middle one, the missing one, I will be reading the lyrics to Cake's 2001 hit, Short Skirt, Long Jacket. First poem is called Sykora. Before the flame, before the burner, before we called it oxygen, what was it we were breathing, if not our own desire to stay? You forgive me, but I don't forgive me. That's the way, isn't it? I consult the finest cartographers. I bring my own dowsing rods, thank you very much. I like to come prepared, field notes in my bag, an old movie ticket in my pocket, the old remember when. As in, remember when you slept, you and me, there on the floor, our bodies outlined in light. Remember when we watched the birds break in the window of your Cherokee, birdseed in their mouths, and then in our mouths, and in the mouth of space between us. Remember when I called you late in the night to say, I'm at your door, buzz me in, the cab won't wait any longer, the seasons might be changing. If you look too long at the sky, I won't recognize you, not anymore. Whoever you are now, just know, I'm still an antiquarian. I still fit in those jeans. I've stepped over the question, through it, I think. I meant to ask, but instead, I woke up wet, my pockets filled with stones, the sound of the river still clean in my ear. We were all looking for someone who could haunt us later. You'll do, you said. I took this as a blessing. Your dog remembers me when it holds my hair in its soft mouth. So no, I'm not convinced. I have forsaken all doubt. The only shirt I wear more often than yours. There's room enough for me in your dreams, the one where we're fastened to a marble slab and the great artisans come to chisel us down to the seafloor. I always wish I could disappear like this, in the most spectacular fashion, so I can leave knowing people could not look away, unsure of what will happen to them now that they let it happen to me. I want a girl with a mind like a diamond. I want a girl who knows what's best. I want a girl with shoes that cut and eyes that burn like cigarettes. I want a girl with the right allocations, who is fast and thorough and sharp as a tack. She's playing up with her jewelry. She's putting up her hair. She's touring the facility and picking up slack. I want a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket. You want out And I want us to need more light than air. You want neglect to be less of an effort, and I want this song to keep pace with your leaving. This is what desire does. Puts a weapon in my hand, then turns it against me. My body bloodied on the tile while you play with my hair, my wound fresh with jasmine, fresh with bougainvillea, a garden sprouting through me too, vines down my ribs, little flowers where my eyes went to glass. The rain's about to end, you say. I bet you $5 the rain will make one more unannounced appearance. My famous last words. God, I've written another one, haven't I? Another stress fracture. Look, I keep dreaming about it. You coming in from the cold in style, those Eastern Bloc furs. You refusing to meet me on the train, decoupling the cars to avoid my gaze. I'm sorry, I want to watch TV with you. I want to tell you, you're not even going to be even a little bit merciful. You don't have to be. Not yet. I want you to know this is how a mild fever breaks me. I don't mean to be contemplative. This is as loud as I'm willing to get while we sleep. So stay, play a little parlor game, a little riddle of the guess who variety. Some clues for those at home. Feel free to follow along. I organized a search operation. The dogs howling, scent drunk, paws muddy, mouth to dirt where we all reside. First in the body, then in the earth. You told me to dig a hole in the ground, so I dug one, large enough I wouldn't fit in without you. Here under the old style sign, under its blue and white light, under the stage, through the trap door from our costume change. Now I'm a blonde, now I'm in a lounge singer's dress. Cocktail in my hand, my lips pink with music. There's a song I meant to play you, full of debris. It goes like this. Little lines, śpiewano po polsku, little bits of you taking a baton to my skull. I'm gonna close out with one last one about my man, Tommy the Cat, Tom Cruise. People think that love for Tom Cruise is ironic, but it's not. This one's called 19-minute supercut of Tom Cruise running. You fall off a mountain, you fall off a terrace, you fall off a fire escape, you fall or you let yourself go. You plummet 5 stories down into a bathtub full of ice. You tire yourself fist fighting the carbine. You run across the carapace of every rooftop in France. You look down onto the street where traffic small and anonymous still holds some memory of you. You climb onto the plane. You climb the light up to high-five the ionosphere. You tame a horse. Then it's cavalry. You outpace the generals. You outflank the tides. You hear the ocean applaud each time you deny it. You're awarded medals. You see that your family won last time. You sing yourself to sleep. The words escape you. The melody turns on you like a fog, dingy, soft. Your voice cracks. There's little of it left. You save your strength. You fall out of love, but you fall with grace, wired to the scaffolding of your confidence. You are ready for contact wherever it comes. You make peace with surfaces. You place your cheek on the lavish new marble countertop. It's cool, inviting. It offers you little. You ask for less. How simple a surface is. How uncomplicated. There's no room for despair between you and your 1,000-yard grin. Thank you. Buy our books.
Our next reader, I feel I owe my writing career to in a way. My good friend who scraped me off the bottom of a boat when I was adrift and useless and unable to write, and agreed to talk about poetry with me into a microphone for 1 hour every month. And that really did a number for me on enjoying art again after burnout. His first book just came out, and I'm every bit as excited. Well, I can't be as excited about it as he is, but I'm very excited about it. It's been awesome watching that whole thing happen for him. And a quick Lazy and Entitled plug. Do check out lazyandentitled.org. We have our podcast there. We have a blog. We have our books. Vine, which is a novel and stories that we wrote. It's scary. It's about religious freaks living in the mountains. Yeah. Now Bob time. Wait, I got your intro. Now it's intro Bob time. Bob Sykora is the author of the collection Utopians in Love from Game Over Books 2025. And the chapbook I was talking about love, you were talking about geography. Adrian was not talking about geography. It's from Nostrovia in 2016. Bob is a graduate of the UMass Boston MFA program, and he teaches at a community college. Shout out to community colleges. He edits with Garden Party Collective. He co-hosts the Line Break podcast, and he wonderfully, out of the goodness and kindness of his heart, curates the KC Poetry Calendar on Instagram. Please welcome my good friend, Bob Sykora.
Thank you, Chris. We're probably gonna make this a small Okay, yeah, that's good. All I did was say yes to doing a podcast. Really.
Okay, good.
I want to thank you all for coming out and for still being here. Poetry readings are weird. I feel like counterintuitive to a lot of our other forms of performance and entertainment and art and whatever. And it takes this like type of attention that I think we don't often use in our life. So I appreciate you like being here and particularly still being here. And for the few of you in the audience, maybe it's many of you, who don't engage with poetry very often and you're like kind of checking out, that's so okay. That's like totally just part of it. I love this stuff and I'm sitting there and I'm going in and out of it and it's fine, right? My book came out in March and I did a bunch of readings around Kansas City for it and I'm really excited to try and spread it beyond the local scene. But I did this one reading where a colleague showed up, which was really sweet of her, and she brought her son and it threw me off so much. And I'm really glad I was that experience because we're gonna do some like light editing of this because I want everyone in the room to enjoy these poems. And I say some things where I'm just like, I can't look at some of your faces saying these words. Which is a long, way too long introduction to get to the stuff. But before I gotta keep going, I got some really good news. Can I share the good news with you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's good news.
The Utopians are in love! They've charted out the next century. They bought these cute matching uniforms. They started peeling the skin off all our social norms. The Utopians are in love. They grind their bodies against the floor, pray in new tongues. They sparkle so much in their underwear as they wave gravely at the sunsets in the basement. The Utopians are in love. They are constantly doing it. Or never, ever doing it. They decipher the same ancient phrases for their own purpose, pollute the country with idealism. They craft a new life from the words of crazed pastors who keep getting run out of town. The Utopians are in love and they can't get enough. They don't tire of barking across the city, gunking up the country's gears, dumping ideas for new ideas, always changing, always 30 colors at once, never just fairies or star flowers, but so many different types of perfection. The Utopians are in love, busy writing and rewriting constitutions. They just love writing constitutions. They're men and women, sometimes just a few, but always everyone, eventually. The Utopians are charged positive. The change is coming. The seas will turn to lemonade, sweep you up. Every one of you in this room will speak in blank verse, and everyone out there, every last one of them, will join.
Okay.
Why?
Oh.
I started writing this book in 2016. That sounds right. And there's something really gratifying about seeing it out in the world, but there's also this like whole experience I'm going through of like remembering what state I was in when I was doing this. A lot of these poems are old at this point. And I think what's been worse is thinking about how like the political climate at the time was on my mind. Like it's kind of, thought we'd be a different place by now.
Yikes.
I thought I had like finished the book just like a year later. I had pounded out all these poems. I was in graduate school. I had this class that took us to the Boston Public Library, and we went to the rare books room. It was cool as hell. They had like signed Walt Whitman stuff, or like original Walt Whitman stuff. And I'm going through, they hadn't digitized their card catalog. And so I'm going through like the old school card catalog, picking up little things. And I found this card that said, Brook Farm, American Utopia. And like that was just this moment where I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like there's a problem. Those two words don't work right now. And it turned me down this rabbit hole that like led to this book, where I did a bunch of research about these 19th century historical real people who were upset with how things were, and they tried to blow up the world and like turn in this new thing. So I'm gonna read the first poem in the book, which was like the last poem I wrote before I finished grad school in 2017. And I finished writing this poem and I was like, oh, was the whole book just trying to write this? So I think it says a lot of what I want to do. I promise I'm gonna stop talking soon and start reading. I'm gonna name some historical figures here. You don't need to know anything about them. Like I tell you everything, right? So come on with me. This guy doesn't have any answers. In Vermont, the trees can barely stand the end of winter. All their petrified leaves lie on the ground, eyeing up at almost broken branches, who will follow soon and pound the earth with the heft of their passing. In the dead grass, I wait for the entire sky to fall down and meet me. A blanket of blue or black with so many freckles, I wait for the crushing infinite nothing to hug me to death. I'm sorry if I sound morose, but I can't seem to put my life back in order. I'm looking for structure in the fringes of history books, stories not so much forgotten as deemed unimportant. I picture the utopian Charles Fourier growing gray as he constructed a perfect society. Imagine all these people in perfect harmony. How did he dream up such a grand community when he died alone with so many cats? How long before they found the body? Was it blistered or rotten? Did the cats get hungry? Was he furious to find the polar ice caps never melted into lemonade? His perfect new world never came to be, tossing furniture, thrashing the apartment until he fell limp on the floor. Cat licks slowly turning into nibbles. Fourier found utopia in equations, a perfect set of measurements he mostly obscured in his writing. I'm sorry. Real people put his ideas into practice, tried building the communes of his dreams. But all the Fourierist experiments would droop into dysfunction. The geometry of perfection was never quite right. How do you pick up the pieces after utopia fails? Where do you go? Josiah Warren turned to anarchy, tried exchanging goods for time instead of money. Charles J. Guiteau assassinated President Garfield after he was kicked out of Oneida. Muddy potholes I don't know how to handle pull my car over on the road home. The mechanic chuckles, points me to a place to spend the night on the cheap. The hotel room sweats, and on the television they're chasing utopia. It's on HGTV again, CNN, the evening news. Every channel tries to figure out what's wrong, how to patch up all the holes in our homes, in our country, in these damn muddy roads. The ceiling pants all night. New England rolls humid as I close my eyes and dream myself right back onto the roof of your apartment. When utopia was sharing shandies with you while a red July sky set herself behind grumpy old Boston, you laid down a sheet and I knew for the first time, I really knew I loved you. As we shouted, "Screw Boston," over and over at the early moon. Utopia was closest to me then when it was nowhere near my mind. The two of us skipping dinner, we talked so late, we almost fell asleep up there. the star of the sky groaning. Let's do it again tomorrow and the next day, and maybe Foyer felt the same way, drunk on ideas like I felt drunk on possibility. Maybe utopia can't last because the sky won't sit still, and we're always tumbling through the big freckled nothing, so bright in Vermont, barely there in the city. I wake up to an anonymous room, blankets kicked off a damp bed, so little sleep, and so much time has passed, and utopia is nowhere to be found. But the car is fixed. The road is calling. And up above there's nothing but clouds, big and gray and lumpy with questions, barreling on ahead as far as I can see. So my introduction to all of that was about all this historical research, and I'm not going to read any of the historical research stuff tonight. You can purchase a book. You should not feel pressured to buy all 3 of our books. Like, it's great if you wanted to, but I won't be offended if you buy Sandra's and Adrian's and not mine. This is called Crying on the Exercise Bike While Watching the Great British Bake Off.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 2 in the afternoon, and I love you. It's true, it's 2 in the afternoon and the entire room is blurry with sunlight, with fresh tears. The cake turned out poorly. Someone is going home. The layers crumbled. I love you. And all your layers crumbling, overcooked. I pedal faster and get nowhere. Crumbling, overcooked, crying. I don't know why I'm crying. You're crying because you lost. Because you're going home. Because next week your baking won't be judged. Because the cake was perfect when you practiced. Because I pedal faster and I am no closer to you. My body is soft, full of cake. I ride my exercise bike because I hate my body. I watch reality TV because I hate working out. There's no cake in the evening. I love you, even when there's no cake after the long day. Crumbling, overcooked, my body is blurry at 2 in the afternoon as I pedal faster. I pedal nowhere. I don't know why I'm crying. Overcooked, pedal, blurry day. My body was perfect when I practiced. I pedal faster. My cake is blurry. The sun fills the room. The room crumbled. There's no cake in the evening after the long day. My body pedals faster. The day is further away. It's 2 in the afternoon. I don't know why I'm crying. You are not coming home. Read something about Chicago, loosely, and then like a little bit of a longer one, and then we'll wrap it up. This is called The End of History.
The end of history? That's a strange title.
I was in love the last time I was here, where the city slits itself so eagerly, the river, the overpass, the train above belching sparks, the whole bar below rumbling with rush hour in its guts. All these people come and go like the years I was young here. My clothes 2 sizes too big, my hair so long with optimism. All these people holding hands with the past. The years passing me by like little waves shivering in the glass as another train storms overhead. Stranger after stranger outside on the street, each looks less like someone I know, like someone I'm hoping to see. I swirl my hopes around, watch them fizzing, then bring them to my lips and taste them growing warm. Is that you walking by the window in a bulky blue coat? Or on the train as someone, or on the train as it storms past again? Is that all I can imagine? You, or someone like you, passing by in the city I keep coming back to. There aren't any clear futures in my beer, on the street, on the cable news yapping above the bar. The future is murky and growing stale. The future rumbles by again, and then the future asks me if I want anything else before laying down the check. And I do want something else, but the TV murmurs with the same bad news. The city outside stammers with traffic. And without a thought, I will walk right into it. Walk the same walk I've walked 100 times before. I will walk until it's too dark or too cold or I'm hungry again. Until I find myself outside the old apartment, trying to make the wrong key fit. Tripping on some things tonight. I think that's in part because this is such a beautiful audience of people that I know and don't know, and some surprises, and people that I've admired for a long time. And I'm gonna ask you all really quickly to wave at the camera. Thank you. I'm trying something really cheesy on social media next week.
Good one.
Thank you, James. I'm gonna leave you off with this kind of longer piece from the end of the book, and part of the reason I think you should go to poetry readings like this is I get the opportunity to play around with it a little bit. I wrote this one poem and I was like, that's really good, I should just write more like that. And then it turned into a long poem, and then now I can just piece them together however I want. And so you are seeing the only time I'm ever gonna read it this way. Right? Wonderful.
It's a happening.
This is called Various Other Utopias. This is the utopia where there are no people. There are only cats. All calamity of fur and cuteness. We're climbing towers made of carpet. We're licking each other clean. We're taking naps in the sunroom all afternoon, drinking milk, knocking over houseplants. We're sashaying away, not looking over our shoulders. There's no need for the old oops, did I do that? Because everyone else is also a cat, and they're too busy huffing away at snacks or asleep again. I swear, we're always sleeping. We're all too busy with dreams to get swept away in some nonsense like love, like utopia, like yada yada yada. Have you ever slept right up against the window? The sun hot on your ass, like the whole damn universe was intent on you feeling safe, comfortable, and warm. I'll tell you, one time I was thinking about the future, right there on the window pane, but then the sun got all just right on my ass. Like sleeping inside a toaster oven, like being little spoon to the whole galaxy. Like I can't even explain it. But that, for me, was enough. Yeah, we'll do this. But this is the utopia where online job applications do not require you to fill in tiny boxes with the exact same information you included on the PDF resume you already submitted. Of course, this is hardly a utopia because the tyranny of labor under capitalism exists just the same as it does in our own contemporary condition. Still, everything in this utopia is just a tiny bit better because we've been freed from those tedious moments grinding our teeth, feverishly retyping the same information about our boring lives into blinking tiny boxes on the screens we rely on for both labor and leisure. Everyone has saved a number of hours of their lives. Some have even found entire new days of freedom, not having to retype their resumes into tiny boxes. And therefore, their utopias, like everything else here, are a little bit better than the ones you and I can dream. They imagine so much cooperation. 4-day work weeks. No jobs at all. And the people in the utopias of their dreams can dream even bigger, more impossible utopias. And the people in those utopias can dream utopias so far removed from what you or I could imagine. It would break our brains if they were described to us right now. But these people, not retyping their resumes into tiny boxes, are mostly content not to dream because their world is good enough, or as good as it ever will be, considering what history presented them with. Even here, they sometimes feel simply helpless to make any real change. I'm gonna keep going, but I left my water bottle. Oh no, it's in the car. Devastated. But this is the utopia where no one wonders if they are loved. No one wonders because right over there, there's a great big bell tower in the middle of town, and every hour on the hour it rings out, "I love you." At noon or at midnight, whenever things are worst, the loneliest among us can be found gathered up on the hill that stares over the whole town, the tower in the center, the echo just right. And 12 times we're reminded, "I love you. I 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 love you." And this town is like any other. We've got all the same problems and fears, but up there on the hill, even on the coldest nights, I promise you'll find them. At least someone huddled in a blue coat, watching their breath smoke, waiting for the tower to call, to remind them. And this will be the last one. This is the utopia where I kissed you. Right over there on the pier, on the lake, in the dark. What's a pier even for if not for kissing? You know the one over there. I know you all live in this neighborhood. Would this all be different if we had kissed? Would we wake up new? The headlines all celebrate the end of our calamity. They're serving victory blueberries on every street corner. The mouths and hands of every child are blue. All our attempts to topple the assholes up top failed. But they fell over anyway, and it rained money for days. But we didn't need money anymore. There were just so many blueberries. And when we kissed, we'd share all our blues, and when we held hands or hugged or high-fived anyone, we passed it on. And in this great blue mess, somehow we all knew each other. Every hand, every smile was blue. Everyone must have hugged or kissed or held someone we knew. The sky in comparison was so soft and light and barely, but our hands, our faces, our teeth, stains in our clothes, the whole street, smothered in a crushed dark blue, the leftovers piled up on the corner. We're building mountains from the blue mush. We're shoveling in the backs of pickup trucks, driving way, way out, dumping it in the lake. The lake, where you and me, we sat, we watched the busy waves and the growing blue glow of dragonflies hovering under a yellow moon, sinking slowly into that vanishing blue. We're way, way down at the bottom, all our leftover blues transform, where they begin to feed the algae, hungry as hell, until renewed with an electric blue sparkling. The water shimmers on and off, so alive, so peaceful. The tides turn suddenly, crack as they smack against the pier. And it's all because I kissed you. On the pier, on the lake in January, when it was dark and cold and I was scared. You can almost see the whole universe out there in the dark nothing above the water. The whole universe was dark and cold and scared. And I kissed you anyway.
Wow.
Thank you once again, everyone, for coming out. Let's hear it again for our wonderful readers. Micah Mabey. Sandra Marchetti. Adrian Sobol. Sykora. Music from Be in the Nothingness. Coffee provided by Bree. Shout out to Bree. Thank you to Rivers and Roads. Thank you all for coming. I've been Corlew. Have a great evening.